So my talk is on blockchains. And so now we have smart contracts, smart properties, smart everything. Now the smartness definition has changed. A few years ago I told you smartness was networking. Now the smartness of that you are working on the blockchains. Who can use this thing? Of course there is a whole financial industry which is going to use it, which includes currency, private equities, public equities, bonds, derivatives, commodities, mortgage, crowdfunding, microfinance, microcharity. Anywhere it's very simple. Then you just change the Bitcoin to that thing and it works. But public records, land titles, you know how much you go to, I know this here, I have gone to this through process, this one, where you want to change your property from your father's name to your name, you go and pay them some money and the guy will change it. The money goes into the guy's pocket, right? And that is not possible with this system. Now with this system, basically the condition would be there and you have to provide the proof and all that. So this is why all the things which are centralized today, land titles, vehicle registries, business licenses, criminal records, passports, birth certificates, death certificates, these can use blockchains. Private records, contracts, signatures, wills, trusts, escrows, other semi-public records, physical asset keys, intangibles, patents, copyrights. You don't have to go to the patent office to reserve a patent. You can put the patent. You can just put the patent in the public, basically everybody knows that you patented it. Networking applications. Of course, this is, now I'm coming to my end by the way. So networking, this is a conference on networking and I'm a networking guy, so what can we do? Well, there is something called Namecoin and that is actually a domain name registry. So we have this DNS which is centralized. If you want to get the name raj.in, you have to go to some registry and pay them and they register it and they charge you every year for that. Well, with this system you don't have to pay every year, you just register, and the only thing right now is that DNS as it is does not resolve those names, so you have to have some extensions to DNS to resolve the names which you have registered on Namecoin, which is based upon blockchains. And right now they're only registering .bit names. So second thing I have to do tomorrow is go and register Jain.bit before anybody else takes it. And same thing for you. Right? And its own currency to pay for the registration. Now, DARPA has issued an RFP for secure decentralized messaging using blockchains. So DARPA is already now getting into this, how networking can be done with blockchains. There is the IPFS, which is the decentralized secure file serving. Basically what it is that if you want to get the files from somewhere, now the files are all over the world, multiple copies, this IPFS will get you the right copy. Secure means it is guaranteed that this is the correct copy. It has not been changed. StoreJ is a decentralized cloud storage. So your stuff will be not stored on iCloud or or Google Cloud or anything. It is stored on the world cloud, totally decentralized. And one name is a digital identity, which basically you can do using wallets. And obviously you can see IoT has a lot of application of this. Now when you have billions of devices and the devices are providing information, somebody will pay for that information, and how do you pay them? A microcent. This is the way. So ISPs, internet service providers, obviously they are very much going to this. They can do mobile money, billing, digital assets, roaming, connectivity. Wherever money is involved, obviously ISPs can do that, but in addition to that, they can do a lot of other things. And so ISP Verizon Venture has invested into a company called Filament, which is doing industrial assets. Orange Digital Venture has invested in Jain, which is a company which is working on financial services. Do, which is a Dubai telecom, has pilot program for secure transmission of electronic health records. So right now the health records basically again are using centralized system. They want to decentralize that. That brings me to the end of my talk. So the 5 points are: current trend is to make everything decentralized. Everything decentralized. Everything that is centralized today will be decentralized. And I don't know whether this will happen or not, but that's the current hype. Bitcoin is a decentralized currency, and blockchains are used for global consensus on Bitcoin transactions. And the blockchain, so this was 1.0 they call it. Now they call it blockchain 2.0, which is the not money but anything else, which is contracts and other applications. And this is an opportunity for startups, venture capitalists, and researchers. The way the consensus comes in Bitcoin, at least, is that you have to have a compute power. And these miners now are actually big powerhouses, whole data centers. So the question is there another alternative, or is it that you really need to buy a data center to be a miner? So for Bitcoin, that is given. But for some of these alternatives that they are talking about, this is another research topic. Can we get away from this unnecessary waste of time doing this hashing? And so, for example, one alternative says that, okay, we will compute the prime numbers. Okay, at least it will be good for the world if we have computed the prime number. We increase the knowledge. And some people did that if they have some, genome, something, and they are doing that with people who are going to do blockchains, use your computer to solve this puzzle. So those are the other alternatives. And then there are other alternatives which say that no computing. It's basically based upon something else. So it's a research topic. If 51% of the power is with the bad guys, they win. Right? Hopefully 51% is with the good guys. Okay, so that's the thing. Basically, we have said that, maybe this system is secure, but we have to put software around it which can kill it. Right? And that is true. So everything, we will have hardware and software around it which can make it insecure. And so this is basically a research topic again as to what can we put around and how much security is, as to what layer, because this is an onion, and if this core is secure, doesn't mean that everything else is secure. So yeah, that can happen. So Indians will love it. Black money is easy. Because government has no control. You don't have to register with the registrar how much money you paid and how much property you got, right? So the black money is clearly, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. So basically, previously people used to put money in Switzerland. Now you don't put it in Switzerland. You put it in Bitcoin. And so yes, because of this, the central authorities will lose their control. And because of this, any centralized country like China, Russia, they have banned it. USA has not banned it because, USA is not that centralized, right, as authority-wise. So most of the authoritarian countries have already banned it because their authority goes away on the very first thing, right? And that is where they need it most. So the Chinese and the Russians are the ones who need this kind of stuff more because they are so much controlled from the outside. But yes, there are bad applications of this as well. Taxation is same thing. Yeah, so the thing is, what will happen is, right now, we are saying that nobody can figure it out, but everybody can figure it out. The other part of this is that governments can figure out as to who, basically everything is public, right? And in some sense, everybody can know, everybody knows about everything, except that we cannot really associate easily the address with the name. So when I put one Bitcoin, I put a number and that number I just randomly generated. So to associate that number to me is still difficult, right? But other than that, government could make a rule that you have to pay taxation. So when you go to Dell and buy a computer, you pay taxes, even if you pay in Bitcoin, right? So yeah, taxation will be there, and if the legal tender is done. With illegal tender, you don't get the taxation today, and you will not get it tomorrow. Size of the ledger, yeah, right. So this is the thing. As I said, I first didn't believe myself that everybody could store the whole world's transaction. But right now, the size of the ledger is 9 gigabyte, right? It could become 9 terabyte maybe, okay? 9 gigabyte and 9 terabyte are, very far apart, right? And the storage is increasing. See, what is happening is storage and computing power are both increasing exponentially. In fact, I think storage is probably increasing faster. I'm not sure, but increasing. So right now, nobody is worrying about that part, right? But there is another solution though. Not everybody has to store, something that happened 10 years ago. So there are nodes that have petabytes of information, and they will keep all the things. And somebody can ask them, can you please tell me this transaction? And not one node. There are many nodes which have a lot more information, and you can just keep the head of the queue. So most people like me will keep only the head of the queue. And we can ask other nodes about the previous older transactions. Now, a scalability issue right now has not happened, and these guys are, basically, as I said, there is a whole group of people. So basically now Bitcoin is a public, just like IETF, there is a group that works on these protocols. It's an open meeting. They have a meeting and they have modifications and they have, RFCs, they call BIP. And so these things are being solved as they happen. Nakamoto had thought about that problem too. So I think the question was that the computation power, may become more or less or something, and then it may take a long time to settle these transactions. So he made a formula. The transactions will take only 10 minutes to settle, because the problem that you are given to solve should take exactly 10 minutes. If the computing power becomes twice as fast and you can solve it in 5 minutes, then after 2 weeks, the complexity will be changed back so that it will take 10 minutes. So this is adopted every 2 weeks. So it will take 10 minutes today, it will take 10 minutes tomorrow, it will take 10 minutes in 2020. No. The order will not process later. So what will happen is, suppose both of you put the order, you have already put some kind of time stamp and everything else, your transaction has gone through, and it's the miners who do the validation. So somewhere it has to be validated. It's just the validation which is delayed, but your transaction is valid. So my transaction, if I made it at 7:01 and you made it at 7:02, mine is still at 7:01, even though they were settled at different times. So there is a time for transaction and there is a time for settlement. It's like this: today when you buy a stock, it is settled after 3 days. You buy a house, it is settled after 3 days, right? So it doesn't matter really, but for those 3 days right now, I cannot sell the house. Actually, in my case, I could not even get another mortgage, because they said if you take another mortgage, there is, blah, blah, blah. So for 3 days, there is a settlement period. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.